the massive continental relocation deception. In our previous exploration, we established a provocative geographical premise. The capital of the Goryeo Dynasty was located in what is now Tai'an, Shandong Province, China. Goryeo was not a peninsular power, but a continental empire occupying the eastern region of the Chinese mainland. However, this leads to a critical question. If Goryeo was a continental power, why do modern historical records strictly confine its existence to the Korean Peninsula? The discrepancy is not an accident of time, it is the result of systemic historical fabrication. To understand how a nation's geography can be erased, we must look at the architects of this distortion. The primary agents behind this grand manipulation were Emperor Yongle of the Ming Dynasty, King Taejong, Taejong's master schemer Ryun, King Sejong the Great, an expert in phonology and linguistics. The methodology of erasure, systematic toponymic displacement. How do you erase a continental empire and confine its legacy to a peninsula? The core mechanism is toponymic displacement, the strategic uprooting and transplantation of geographical names. This wasn't a series of mapping errors, it was a coordinated project where artifacts and records were re-engineered to fit a new, localized geography. 1. The primary engine, toponymic re-engineering. The foundation of the deception was the toponymic migration of Goryeo's core territories. The early Joseon and Ming dynasties systematically took the names of cities, mountains, and rivers from the Chinese mainland, specifically the eastern continental region, and replanted them onto the Korean Peninsula. This created a mirror image geography that allowed them to claim the history of the mainland as the history of the peninsula. 2. Supporting pillar, artifact alignment. Once the toponymic shift was established, the physical world had to be aligned with the new map. Physical evidence and monuments were either relocated, re-inscribed, or destroyed to eliminate any cognitive dissonance between the land and its history. If a stone monument in Shandong bore a name now officially located on the peninsula, that monument was either erased from history or its context was altered to prevent anyone from connecting it back to Goryeo's continental origin. 3. The final seal, textual distortion and revisionism. To finalize the erasure, the textual past was forcibly adjusted to match the new toponymic reality. Emperor Yongle, King Taejong, Ryun, and King Sejong didn't merely record history, they edited the spatial data of the past. They systematically revised existing historical documents, ensuring that every mention of a specific location was interpreted through the lens of the newly established peninsular geography. When the toponyms are moved, the artifacts are relabeled, and the records are rewritten to validate the change, the original truth is effectively buried. This was a total collaborative project between the Ming and early Joseon dynasties to shrink a continental giant into a peninsular state by fundamentally altering the map of the mind. Can we uncover the hidden truth behind these layers of fabrication? It is an immense challenge. Because the primary sources were meticulously sanitized, we cannot rely on a single smoking gun. Instead, we must employ fragmentary synthesis. By collecting non-distorted fragments, minor records that escaped the purge, and connecting them logically, we can reconstruct the silhouette of the original truth. We must formally identify the historical actors responsible for displacing the Goryeo Dynasty from its rightful place in eastern mainland Asia. The distortion of Goryeo's continental history was a strategic geopolitical move executed by Emperor Yongle, King Taejong, Ryun, and King Sejong. The map we know today is not the map of the past, but the map they chose for us to see.